Well, I suppose it is the business that I'm in, but there was a time when they called TV, and probably still do call TV, the idiot box, but now it's smart.
The idiot box? Yeah. Why do they call it the idiot box?
I don't know, because you just sit in front of it and watch it. And
yeah, this is okay. Fair enough. I buy into that.
But now it's a smart TV.
Now it's a smart TV. So we're moving in this trend where people don't want to just watch TV anymore. They want to interact with the content. So we are looking at a Samsung Smart TV today, which is a perfect example of how television is becoming a more interactive experience.
Okay. Do we want it to become
a more interactive experience?
Actually, yeah, you know, because I find when I'm watching TV, I often have my BlackBerry in one hand, and then I have my computer right here, or an iPad or something. So this is a way of putting it all into one.
Exactly. So often you're using Twitter, you're using Facebook, you're using lots of social applications. People love to use IMDb to look up different actors when they're watching videos. Things like that are just, people are doing that more and more as they're watching TV. So the manufacturers are getting smarter and actually starting to build this technology right into the television. One thing I want to point out here too is you see how it's more of an app experience. You can see it's got Samsung apps built right into it. Now, since we're in a week where we've recently lost one of our icons, Steve Jobs, I like to kind of give him a little bit of tribute to being one of the visionaries behind creating applications. So being one to say, you know what, we want a smart, simple interface, and people just absolutely love that. So I like the fact that Samsung has picked up on that, that they've started integrating that into their television. So you can see here, you're not just turning on the television and watching TV. You're actually getting a multitude of other apps that you can dig into the content more with.
Okay, so when you turn on, this is, again, as you mentioned, it's a Samsung TV. So when you turn it on, this is like the home page, basically?
This is called the Smart Hub.
Okay.
So what happens is when you turn it on, you can actually go into an app menu. You could turn it on, it would be just in general. Like it depends on where you left it off last.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. But and actually, one thing I want to point out before we start getting into the features of the television is just the remote. So you see how it's got a regular remote. Can we see it up there?
Yeah, see it.
You flip it over, and it's got the full QWERTY keyboard. So one of the things that I love about that is, so as you're actually interacting with apps like social feeds, you can actually type on there.
So that's great. When I'm trying to type in passwords into my PlayStation, it takes forever because I don't have a keyboard. I'm trying to just do it with the little joystick.
And it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating when you're trying that. So this has kind of gone in there. So right now, this is obviously a 3D television. It's got the 3D option right there. This is the 8000 series. They have smart TVs that start, I think, at about 40 inches and go all the way up to 60 or 65.
Okay.
They range in price from like $1,000 all the way up to about $3,500.
Okay. And I think this one was around 25.
I think you can get it for, if you can find good deals on it right now, for about $2,500, which I know I personally really want one.
This is a 46.
And this is, this is the 46. So right now it's got 3D television. It's got Netflix built in. Have you ever used Netflix?
I have it. That's why I bought the PS3. But I don't use it very much, to be honest.
I don't use it very, because it's got older content on it.
Well, and Netflix has, I don't know about in the States, but I don't think Netflix has done a very good job in Canada of organizing their content.
You don't like the way it's organized? Yeah.
I don't. I can't figure it out, so I don't use it very much. But.
You know what, actually, that brings me into one of the features of this TV is it's got something called the All Share, and it actually reads all of the content off the internet and any device that's set up within the network that you're in. So most households have Wi-Fi networks now. They've got their laptops and their tablets and their phones set up. All Share will actually read all of the content on there, and you can go in and search for a movie, find it, plug it into the TV right away. Well, not physically plug it in, but stream it into the TV. And then you can also get stuff off the internet through there as well, which is really cool.
So let's see what we have here. So you don't really need a touch screen. This isn't a touch screen, but you don't really need it because, of course, you're sitting on your couch. So the control is good. And you can, as you said, do Netflix, you can do YouTube.
Yeah. Let's go into social TV. That's a fun one.
What's that?
I like that. So that is an integration of your Facebook campaign, your Twitter, and Google Talk. So you can actually chat and watch while you're in there. Now I'm just going to change the display menu here. Oops. Oh, make a liar out of me. I've only been able to play with this a couple times, so I'm not absolutely...
Okay, so this is when you
what happens is you can actually change the display right from within. Actually, it's the D button here I think I need to press.
Okay, so while you're tweeting or Facebooking on your TV,
changed.
you can continue watching TV?
Yes.
Okay,
so you can see we've got the background set up here, and right now I've got a Facebook tweet or a Facebook feed showing on there. I can have Google Talk and Twitter at the same time. So you can see this is hooked up to Clint Christie, who's the Samsung representative, and he's tweeted, "Tune into Global News for info on Samsung."
So this, let's just pretend this is TV. This is what we're feeding into the TV portion of it. So you can still watch the new news hour while you're tweeting.
Yeah, and what's neat about it is so say you're like, okay, well, I'm not a person that wants to tweet a lot, or I don't want to actually interact with it, but you want to see what other people are saying. Like, Sophie, you've become, since a member of the first segment we did on Twitter, and you were like, I don't get this. Now you tweet like crazy. You could, in between segments, talk about what's coming up next, and people could follow your personal feed on there.
Wow.
Well, that's kind of cool.
That's very interactive. Okay, we just have like a little more than 30 seconds left. So what are some of the other things you want to show us?
Well, you can play music on it. You can do your social feed. It has Skype built into it as well. So you could attach a Skype camera to it and actually Skype with Grandma wherever she is.
Oh, and it's much nicer
Oh,
display.
isn't it just beautiful?
And then you've got photos.
You have your photos, you've got your music. I mean, web browsing as well. That's actually really important. That has, you can watch almost any, or browse almost any website from this application in terms of it does HTML5 and the latest Flash. So it's pretty impressive. We don't have time to demo it today.
So is Samsung are other manufacturers making this as well, or is Samsung really
Samsung is the one that's doing it to this extreme at this point in time. It's also only 1 inch thick. So
you know what? I lifted this. Should I try it?
You want to try?
Okay, hold on.
Okay, Sophie, go for it.
Oh no, I'm not going to. It's really light. I did lift it before, but I think it was because it was down there, so I won't lift it right now because I don't want to break it.
Much
I don't have
pressure
$2,500 on me. Not right now, anyway. But look at it; it's really thin. Can we show that?
Yeah, actually, you should.
I don't know if you can see that or not.
Can you see it from the side? Well, it's less than an inch thick.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's
Imagine
how thin
that
it is.
on your wall. It's just beautiful.
All right, I know we're right out of time. Lindsay, thank you very much for coming in, and thanks to the folks at Samsung for bringing this in for us, and I'll be taking it home. For more information, you can go to lindsaysmith.com. You can also follow her on Twitter, of course. Thanks very much, my dear.